Hi Liz, how you
Hey,
doing?
how's it going? I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so who is Liz as a person? How did you get here to this day?
Ah, that's that's a big question, but I'll try to summarize. I would say that I am a lover, a healer, someone who's really spiritual, someone who loves people and loves interacting with people. And honestly, I would just bring it out to the world, not just people. You know, all mankind, animals. You know, the earth, nature. That's just kind of who I am. And I think that I'm supposed to bring people together. I think that I'm supposed to connect with people, and I know that my purpose is, bigger than just one thing, but I find different things to channel them into, that kind of align with who I am, align with my purpose, truly.
Awesome. Okay, so what's your background? Did you grow up here in Tampa? Where'd you grow up and how'd you get
I
here?
grew up in Orlando, Kissimmee area, and I lived in Orlando. I was born in Orlando, but I was raised in Kissimmee, which is very completely different things. So I have to make sure that's known with people because Kissimmee's like a small town. People don't know about it. But I always I felt like I belonged, but I didn't. I always feel like I feel like that in all situations where I can connect with people and I can talk to people, but I still don't feel like I just belong in one place. I feel like I'm supposed to go everywhere.
Awesome. All right, so what brought you here to Tampa?
I actually, I came here for school, and I went to USF. But I honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea at first. I thought I was going to be a nurse, because there goes that aligning with helping people. But that didn't fulfill me. When I was in the classroom, I just knew, I was like, I can't connect, I can't pay attention, I'm not passionate about this. And that's when I knew I had to figure something else out.
All right,
and that's what led to, first modeling and then acting.
All right, so how we've naturally progressed into that. How did you decide modeling and acting was for you? Did you always feel like it was part of you deep down and you just had to find time to discover that, or how'd you finally get into it?
Well, initially, when I was a kid, I had no idea I wanted to do it, but I remember my godmother, we would go to her house after school, me and my cousin, and we would take pictures of her clothes and put on, we wear her skirts as dresses and wear big heels and then go out and have a little photo shoot. And I was like, this is what's fun to me. I want to do this. And I expressed it to my parents, and them being loving people that they are, they tried to push me away from that because they knew all the struggles that come with that. So I just focused on my education, because I was always like an A+ student, and I was like, I'll just go with that and see what happens. But I always had a calling for something else. And then that's where it came to play, where I, when I was in college, I was like, I'm going to try my hand at acting, or actually modeling. So I did, fell in love, knew this was right, and went from there. So with the modeling, I loved it. I knew I was good at it, and I still model a bit, but then I knew, I'm short. I'm 5'3", and I knew that would kind of only go so far. So I was like, okay, I don't want to let go of it, but how do I tie it all together? So that's when I was like, okay, a friend of mine was like, you should try acting. My brother, he's an actor, and he told me for years, you should try it, and I was never really interested in it. So one day I was like, okay, I'll take this acting class and see where it goes. And I took it, and I was like, oh yeah. The first day, I knew that was right for me. So that's when I started getting into acting, and little by little, different things led me to where I am now.
All right, awesome. Okay, so what are your goals when it comes to acting? Where do you see yourself in the future?
Honestly, my point, because it aligns with my purpose, is to bring people together and to tell really, really important stories that make people feel and make people talk, and that are provocative. And that I think that's happening a lot right now, and it's perfect that I'm getting to where I'm getting to in acting at this current moment, because there's a lot of stories that are about to be told that are very, very important, and I'm so glad to be part of that movement. So honestly, just bringing people together in that regard.
All right, awesome.
Storytelling.
So the storytelling, that kind of leads into question of what is your favorite role? Maybe what's your favorite role that you've played in, and what's an ideal role for you that you want to play?
Okay, so this is a question that I can kind of get more perspective on the acting side, because a lot of people aren't aware of like what it takes to be an actor. A lot of times you are just auditioning, and that in itself is playing a role, because you know it's, let's say 500 people auditioning for one role, one person gets it. So there could be 200 amazing actors, but one person gets it. So that, I feel like I'm playing roles, so I can't really say too much because it's a lot of, you know, something you can't talk about that. So, you know, you sign NDAs and things like that. But roles that I say I have felt really important. There's movies that'll be coming out soon, but let's step away from that, and I say like maybe an acting class and, you know, things like that. I played a lot of roles that have told stories about women that are very, very, you know, I would say taboo. Stories about rape, stories about even infidelity, and, you know, things of that nature.
Things that actually happen, things that cause life changes and shifts and big things in women.
For sure.
Awesome. All right. So when you started, it sounds like you've acquired a lot of knowledge and wisdom. What do you wish you knew when you started out?
Honestly, I wish I knew how long it's going to take and how trying it is. If I knew that, honestly though, if I knew that before I started, I probably would have never started. I'll be honest, I am a person who overthinks everything, and if I think about it and I think of like maybe why it won't work, usually I don't move. So I try not to think about those things, and I think it's very important that I didn't know those things before I started, because I believe I should be doing this. So if I knew, I wouldn't have done it at all. I really wouldn't have.
Okay, awesome. So describe yourself. Last question. Describe you as an actress in 7 words.
Okay, 7 words. A feeler, intelligent. This is kind of hard because as an actor, you play characters, but you bring things to the table. So a feeler, honestly don't know what I just said. The other one, intelligent. Strong, different in terms of perspective, trusting, trustworthy. So final one, let's see. Important.
All right, awesome. Okay, well, thank you, Liz.
Thanks
for interviewing with Enigma Enclave.
Thank you for having me.